Hello, my name is Lori Whedon. I am a lecturer here at the University of Massachusetts Lowell in the Environmental, Earth, and Atmospheric Sciences Department. I'm going to talk briefly about the best way to read a scientific paper. It can be one of the biggest challenges facing new scientists as they start their college career. How do you read those papers? They use such crazy words, and it can be difficult to interpret. Well, first of all, you have to find those papers, and obviously the best way to do is go to your library, also Google Scholar, Academic Search, Science Direct, RefSeek. These are all different search engines that are specific to peer-reviewed journals and scientific papers. It's always a good place. You always want to find these and make certain that you're looking at a peer-reviewed journal. You don't want to put an opinion piece in a paper that is supposed to be an academic paper. Step 1. Read the abstract. You've heard the phrase, you cannot judge a book by its cover. Well, neither can you judge a paper by its title. You might think the paper covers your intended topic only to discover your topic is merely an analogical reference. It's best to read through the abstract, which summarizes the paper's intended topic and results, and see if it really does apply to what you need. Step 2. Look at the figures. Ever heard the statement, a picture is worth 1,000 words? Well, in some ways, there's no better place to illustrate this concept than in a scientific paper. Graphs and tables explain the results in a moment. Tables list valuable data. Read the brief text explaining the figures before the expanded explanation in the body of the paper. Start with the figures and see if you understand what they mean. If you're still confused, again, where is this figure referenced in the text? Look it up. Read that section too and see if it helps clarify what those figures are about. Jot down some notes on the figures and tables. Use your own words. I can't stress that enough. Just copying down what's written in the fine print really won't help you. You've got to use your own words. You have to interpret what you're seeing. Step 3. Reread the abstract. Does it make more sense now? I'm assuming at this point you've already read through all of the tables, figures, and all of the brief explanations that go along with them. Then wrote notes down explaining each one of those tables and figures in your own words. After doing that, you reread the abstract. It's probably going to make a little bit more sense now. You're going to understand really what the paper is about. You're not going to put a figure or a table on a paper if it doesn't really apply to the overall meaning of that paper. Alright, now it's time to get to the real understanding of the paper. Step 4. Read the introduction. Stop and take notes on every paragraph. This is where I tend to get a lot of, sighs. Really? Every paragraph? This is going to take me forever. Well, it turns out that if you were to sit down and read the paper without doing these steps, most often people find that they have to reread and reread and reread each paragraph because they've either dozed off or started daydreaming and weren't really paying attention to what they were reading. These papers can be difficult. So I highly recommend you read the introduction, stop and take notes on every paragraph, make sure your notes make sense before you move on to the next one. This, although may seem time-consuming, is extremely beneficial. You'll understand the paper so much more than if you're rereading the paragraph 5 or 6 times. Step 5. Skip the materials and methods. Alright, unless this paper is intended to examine the benefits or problems with a specific testing method, this portion of the paper is not as important to you at this time. It should be evaluated completely should you intend to submit to a peer-reviewed journal. In this case, you'd need to understand the methodology and make a determination if your methodology would conflict or complement the methods used in this paper. Step 6. Review the results and conclusions in the same manner as you did the introduction. Back to looking at those paragraphs, stopping and taking notes in your own words to describe what you've just read. Step 7. Put all your notes together in order. Read them, not the paper, read your notes. Now, does it make sense? It should make a whole lot more sense than the first time you looked at it. Now, as crazy as all these seem, it does work. If you're looking at the paper and you're just overwhelmed by it all, just start with the simple and work towards the complex. Now, after you've finished your paper, you need to go on to another one, something that might be useful to whatever research you're doing at the time. Your best place to start is looking at the source list for the particular paper you've just reviewed. You'll find that that source list will probably provide you with your next reference and hopefully help you write a perfect paper. Hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope it helps. Enjoy the lib guide, and happy